without wasting any time, welcome to my 144 square foot home studio. All right, so this will be a little bit of an unconventional style of a home studio tour, desk setup, all that stuff. I kind of have it set up into 3 different sections, and we'll just jump right into it. So the main talking head setup, I call this the one-man stand. And basically, this thing breaks the barrier for me when it comes to shooting content. You know, sometimes I get an idea and I just don't feel like setting up a light, setting up the tripod, setting up the audio. And to break that barrier, I decided to create this. And it's comprised of a few different things, but we'll go over kind of each thing, at least each main part individually. So starting with the light, the key light that I have for this setup is the Nanlite Forza 60B. It's a small little guy, but it works. And I have the Forza 60B softbox attached with it. And I also have a grid that I use from time to time depending on what exactly I'm shooting. I have the whole thing set up on a C-stand with wheels, and also attached to it I have a ball mount that I can put the camera on, so I can always change what type of angle. If I want to go vertical, horizontal, it's all good to go. And I also have a monitor. This is the Atomos Shinobi monitor that I use to also review my content, make sure I'm in focus, the framing's good, all that jazz. And then to power it all up, I have a small rig V-mount battery. So I do have the light plugged into the wall, but I can power it with batteries. But the light is so powerful, honestly, I can get realistically about 20 to 25 minutes on batteries. So I've just decided just to plug it up. So as far as the camera, the monitor, and when I do use off-board mics, I do have it all powered through the small rig V-mount battery. And this is the one-man stand. Now jumping over to this main area, I don't know exactly what I would like to call it, but this is where I have my backdrops and I can do my top-down type of footage here. Now for my backdrops here, I have a white, some type of a cream brown, and a blue. There was no real reasoning behind those 3 colors. The blue one I actually got for free. The white one is obviously like a clean one, and then brown just for some variation. And I have this whole system up on 2 Veros. So what Veros are, I've explained this in my photography studio tour, but basically what they are, they're mounting points where you can attach lights, you can attach clearly like backdrops, you can attach a lot of things to them. And basically what they do, they create a suction between the ceiling and the floor, or they create some type of traction between the two. And like I said, you can mount backdrops, you can mount lights, you can mount audio gear, you can mount tons of things on them. So I decided to go with this because this room is not big at all. It's 144 square feet. It's honestly, it's probably a little bit smaller. Creating like a small footprint, a small space on the floor, you know, without having so many stands, Veros was definitely the biggest way and the best way to go in this home studio. So also right here, I have my Husky workbench right here. Shout out to Sedlum. I saw his office tour and I was like, I need to get one of those. And I went out and got one the next day. So in here, you know, I house some of my hard drives, some of the other storage that I have for projects, and then kind of like different utilities and tools. And it's kind of like a junk drawer per se, but that's where I house that. But then on top, this is where I have the Neewer, I'll put the exact name because I'm blanking on it right now, but with this setup, I can do top-down shots. And I have this beautiful setup, so I never have to just set up like a stand or a tripod to try to get that perfect top-down shot. I can just plop in the mount onto the camera, put it on here, and I'm getting perfect, clean top-down shots all the time. And I have this Nanlite tube with a magnet on there, and this whole thing is magnetic, so I can just go ahead and just attach it right there. Now I have clean, consistent lighting at all times. And back to the backdrops, like I said, I have 3 different colors, but I can go ahead and bring them down just like that. Perfect for situations where I need to use this for my top downs, but also when I want a nice clean backdrop for talking heads. And the other great thing about this one-man stand is, you'll see in this video, I can do this. I can completely just change the whole vibe, change the angle. Lighting is always going to be consistent. Everything is good. I just have to move the stand. So continuing on, this is my workstation. This is the hub. This is where I spend about 90% of the time in this room. And that is my workstation, my desk. This is where I do all my photo editing, video editing, conference calls, emails. This is where it's done. All my creative flow goes down right here. And just to break it down, we'll start with the desk. And the desk is from Desky. Now, I did do a full dedicated video about the desk, so I won't go in too much depth or detail in this video, but it's a beautiful, real walnut desk that I absolutely love. And I'm just glad it's the newest and greatest addition to my workstation. Like I said, I did a full video talking about it, so you guys can click the link above if you guys want to see and hear more about the desk. Now, powering this whole thing is my M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. This thing has done me well since I bought it, I want to say about 2 years ago, and all my video editing, all my photo editing, everything is done on that. And I have it running in combination with my studio display. I used to have an iMac, but having this set up, because the MacBook outpowered my iMac, I got rid of my iMac and just solely work off of my MacBook Pro synced up with the studio display. Now, having all of my peripherals and everything combined, because I do a lot of photo and video editing, so I have hard drives and SSDs galore like crazy. So to bring all of it home and to have everything talk to each other, I have my CalDigit hub, which I can display from my computer straight to my studio display. I have all of my SSDs that I'm working off of tied to it as well, because the MacBook only has 3 ports, but this CalDigit hub, honestly, I can plug everything up into that. And it also has an SD card reader. So on the days where I need to dump footage, I can plug up a card reader to the CalDigit. I can plug an SD card straight into the CalDigit, but then I also still have the SD card reader on the MacBook Pro. So I can do 3 times as fast of a download versus just using the one SD card that comes on the MacBook Pro. So this setup, I absolutely love. It has done wonders for me the past year, and I absolutely love it. Now, as far as some of the peripherals that I have on the desk, I have my speakers by Kanto. These are a budget friendly, but even though they're budget friendly, they're really great sounding speakers. They're Bluetooth, so they sync straight to my MacBook. So whenever I just activate the Bluetooth, they just turn on. Absolutely love them. I got them in the black colorway because my whole theme is just the wood, the walnut wood and the black. And I think it just looks really clean and minimal. Also, on top of my monitor, I have the BenQ Light Bar Halo. Now this thing I love because sometimes I work late into the night, and this just gives me a nice little bit of an accent light, and it lights up my workspace when I'm working late at night. It's a super sleek, very minimal design. I love it. It's there, and it honestly brings a lot of productivity when I'm working those late nights. Also on top of the desk, I have a charger that not only charges my iPhone, but it charges the Apple Watch and my AirPods. Forgive me, I do not remember where I got this. I don't even remember the name of it. It's like a weird third-party brand, but it works. Like I said, it charges all 3 devices simultaneously. It's a great device, great product. If I find it, I'll have it linked down below. And lastly, on my desk, it is my monitor stand. And this is my most recent purchase, something that I truly wanted to buy for a very long time, but I couldn't get over the price point. But it is my monitor stand from Ugmonk. This thing is an absolute tank. It's an absolute beauty. It just upgrades the entire quality of my desk setup. And like I said, it's a very pricey piece of eye candy. That's really what it is, but it's really, really beautiful. The monitor stand is made out of complete metal and walnut. It also has this beautiful tray that's integrated into the monitor stand. I personally put a journal in there alongside some hard drives, but it's integrated into the monitor stand. You can even put your laptop there if you want. But it's a beautiful piece that honestly brings the whole black and walnut vibe together on my desk setup. And I also paired it with the headphone stand, also black and walnut, also a premium piece of eye candy for my headphones. But like I said, it's my most recent purchase for my desk, and I honestly absolutely love it. And I'll be purchasing from UGMUG again for sure. And lastly, to do with the desk setup, it is my chair. Now, this is a chair, it has a lot of weight and story to it because I received this chair in 2020 from a company called Newhouse. And this is the Ergo 3D. This is honestly, I want to say their top selling chair. But this chair company, this furniture company, actually was the company that I worked for full time after doing a few brand collaborations. I worked full time as their head of content creation for an entire year, working in-house in studio, doing all of their content creation for their website, for their commercials, YouTube, everything. I created everything for them once it came to visuals. But it all started from me doing a brand collaboration with this chair. It served me well. I will say it's time for an upgrade. It's time for something new, but it's a great ergonomic chair. So if you guys are looking for a great ergonomic chair that doesn't break the bank, and like I said, I've had this maybe 4 or 5 years now, and it's served me well. It's been great. So this is the Ergo 3D from Newhouse. Now let's talk about lighting. I have lights all over the studio, whether you see them or not. Like I said, I spoke about this one right here. This is the Nanlite Forza 60B, small lightweight light, absolutely love it, but it lives on this stand. Now, some lights that I have around the studio, as you can see, the big boy right here, this is the 300C by Amaran with the Light Dome 2 on it with a grid. Now I use this light when I do some of my Instagram reels. Sometimes I just literally plop the camera right here and just do my reels right here. And I also can go ahead and swivel it over to the desk. Now, when I was telling you guys earlier about the Veros for my backdrops, I also have the light mounted on a Veros in this corner. And I think this is a perfect way to mount this light because it hides the pole, but it also just creates so much space because it's a big light. This light dome is big. And to put that on a C-stand and put a sandbag, it takes up a lot of space. Like I said, this is 144 square feet. And that is the Amaran 300C with the light dome. And I also have one more Amaran light, and that is the 150C, and I have that one paired with the Spotlight SE. I love this one because I can get some really cool creative shots, because with the Spotlight attachment, you can create different shapes with the gobos that come with the Spotlight, and it just makes a creative type of look. I use it sometimes just to ambiently light the room, and when I'm shooting content, it just gives me a nice creative edge. And also in this room, I have a few accent lights. I'll take you here. Right here in this corner, I have 2 Nanlite Pavo tubes. These are the biggest ones that they ship. As you see, one of them's on, one of them's off. It's just, I didn't turn the other one on. And I also have 2 more behind the camera also as accent lights. And I just use those as background lighting when I'm doing YouTube content, when I'm creating reels. And they also just act as ambient light, because in this room, there is no actual chandelier, there's no actual lights in the ceiling. So the only light that is in here is this lamp and then all the lights that I just told you guys about. So sometimes I just use these lights as actual ambience because there's just simply no lights. And lastly, we'll talk about organization. Now, organization in a studio of this size was honestly key because I wanted my storage to also fit the theme and to be stylish, because I share this room with my girlfriend. She's a makeup artist, so sometimes she shoots her makeup content in here. So it needed to be a place for both of us to film and to shoot. So finding key pieces of storage that also fit the vibe was very important to both of us. So jumping into storage, my main piece of storage is a piece from IKEA called the Faljabo. I know I butchered that name. I know I did. IKEA has the craziest names for products. It's technically a TV stand, but I'm using it as storage. I have some cameras and some greenery, some some plants on top, a lamp on top, just to give it some ambience. This is also where I house my RS3 Pro. And then down below, I have all of my charging capabilities. So charging all of my batteries for my Sony, my Canon, all my MPF batteries are charged down there. And then just accessories and cables, I just hide down there. So that is just like a quick access point. I also hide some of my lenses down there to keep them out from the dust and accidentally getting hit. I am in California, so we're prone to earthquakes. So I wanted to have those things tucked in. So God forbid we do have an earthquake, they don't fall off of the counter, they're tucked away nice and safe. Cool. Another piece of storage that I'm not necessarily utilizing to its full potential like I used to, but it's another piece from the same brand from IKEA, Feljabo. So there's 3 tiers to it, technically 4 if you count the top, 4 tiers. And I'm not really utilizing it in any way special. Honestly, I think I can do a better job. But I just have a MacBook that my girlfriend uses on there. I have the case for my RS3 Pro, and then on the bottom, I just have like a utility crate that has a bunch of stuff like grids and bounce boards. It's just a bunch of different gear in there that I may not necessarily need all the time, but when I need it, I know exactly where it is. And for my third and final piece of storage, it's just a simple drawer from IKEA as well. Not sure of the name of it, but this is where I keep most of my cables. Since this is where I'm editing and I have all these drives, sometimes I need to have a USB cable on hand. So there's a bunch of cables in there and some post-it notes, and as you guys can see down there, I just have headphones for whenever I want to actually hardwire in. And then on top, I just have a label maker. Sometimes I label my drives, whether with the year or the project, or if it's something that's in progress that I'm working on. I always have this on hand just so I can keep all my drives and all that stuff labeled. And then this is just a case for my headphones for my AirPods Max. But I'm sure you guys are asking, James, there's a door right there that you haven't shown us. Well, that's my closet. That's where all my clothing is, but it's also my gear closet, and it is absolutely a mess. So sharing this 144 square foot home studio, inside that closet is where I have all the other gear that I use for my productions, but it's also the closet that I house all of my clothing. And this is my home studio setup, and I'm sure as time continues to go on, things will change, some things will get added, some things will be taken out, but I think this is perfect for right now, and I'm truly loving the setup that I have. If you guys have any questions about any of the gear, any of the tech that I showcase in the video, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. And if you guys like this type of content, also let me know down in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.